Hello and welcome back to Pink Monarch Prints. My name is Bobby. I'm from Precious Memories Junk Journaling, and today I'm a guest designer. And today I have a little bit of a tutorial for you. There have been some comments of those wanting to learn how to start from the beginning and what you put in a junk journal. So I'm gonna, as we craft along here, I'm just gonna kind of explain different things you can do with your junk journal, what you can put in it, different ways of making it. There is no wrong way to make a junk journal. You can design it however you want and use whatever you want in it. If you want to make it completely of items in your house that maybe are things you normally would discard, but you want to, cut and create and use them to make a junk journal as they originally were made, all the way to you can make the most elaborate and beautiful one with jewels and material and it's really just your own personal preference. But when you're a beginner, sometimes it's a little overwhelming to get started. So I'm going to show you one way of starting junk journals, and then as you continue along your path, you'll develop your own style and find the way that you like to do them best. So I kind of have, for myself, I have a little, you could call it an outline or a checklist, that I kind of use in my own head when I'm creating junk journals. But one of the things I usually start with is a cover. Now, a cover can be made. This one is simply cardstock, and this is a printable that I'm using. This is from this month's subscription kit, the October subscription kit from Pink Monarch Prints, called Tattered Wings. And this is one of the papers, and I just copied it onto 110-pound cardstock, so it's got a little bit of weight to it. And then I also glued another sheet of neutral printed paper onto the back of it, again to give it some more stability, because I'm going to make a simple paper covered journal. But your journal could be covered by a number of things. You could cover something like, sorry, this is kind of dirty, but it's a like a envelope that you get something in the mail. You could use that for a cover for your journal. You could use material. You can use, here's some tissue paper that I have. You could definitely use tissue paper as a cover if you wanted to. You would probably need to adhere that to something like cardboard or like a cereal box, a macaroni box. If you have that, once you've used up all your macaroni, it makes a perfect cover for a journal. You just cut off the excess pieces and you already have a spine and two of your sides on it. So lots of different ways to make covers. But we're going to start out, and I just made this paper cover. I trimmed off the white border around it, glued it together, and now I'm just going to make a single signature journal. So I'm not going to try to create a spine in this one. But if you wanted to have like a 1/2 inch spine or so, you could use your scoreboard and just score that and fold it, and that would give you a small spine there, but it's not necessary. You can just simply fold it over and line up your corners as best you can, and then go ahead and fold that down. Sometimes you gotta wrestle it a little bit to get it to stay in place. If you have a bone folder, certainly use that. That'll help you. So I've got my cover. So I'm going to go ahead and set it off to the side. Now don't worry about crinkling or anything. That helps give your journal character. If you don't like it for some reason, you can always glue another piece of paper over this. I don't mind it because I kind of like the vintage grungy look myself. All right, so what kind of pages do you add to a junk journal? Well, you can use a lot of different things. Let's see, one thing I have here, let me grab, is I have some tea stained paper. And this is paper I did myself. and I used tea or coffee, I can't remember which, and then I had some plastic tablecloths, like placemats, and I put them on there and created a design. So definitely you could use tea stained paper with or without designs. Also, here's a paper sack. A paper sack makes a great page in a journal. So definitely you could use that, and that's like almost perfect. So we may keep that sack out and use it in our journal. So let me set this over here to the side. Another type of paper that you could use would be like deli paper. Or if you have, what's that other paper called? Like the baking paper, you could use that, definitely. Vellum, there's vellum, you can use that. So we've got some paper like that. You can also use printables. And that's what I'm using today is my printables from the October kit. And so on one side, I've printed out the double journaling pages. And on the other side, I've printed out the papers that come with the kit. So you can see a neutral side and a decorative side. And so in a moment here, we'll just put those in order, and we'll have our single signature that we can sew in to our journal. So once you get your pages together, you can sew them in and decorate after you sew them in, or you can embellish them before you sew them in, whichever is easier for you. So I'll flip through a couple more of these and then we'll get them arranged. And then I just wanted to show you a couple other things. Sorry if I'm flipping out of there where you can see them. So once we get this all put together, I'll fold those together in just a moment, and we will sew them in our signature. Something else you can use, envelopes. Envelopes are great items to add to a journal. You can also make a cover out of an envelope. So that's a great way. And then you've got a built-in pocket right there in your envelope. So that's a great thing to use in a journal. You can also use envelopes like this. Now, often I will take an envelope like this, and it can be inside pocket if you want. You could just cut this in, and then you'll have a pocket on each end. You can also use this as a cover for a small journal. I've done that before. Did that recently. So, use it as a page, use it as a cover. I've got a small envelope here that I just happen to have that you could use. And on one side it can be a tuck spot. On the other side it can be a flip up. And you can add, little pieces in there that you want to keep in there. So, envelopes. And here's a junk mail envelope. And these make great pockets. So you can also use them as a flip if you want, but you can also cut them across here, and you've got two instant pockets. You just cover them with paper and glue them down where you want them in your journal. So don't discard your junk mail envelopes. Another item you might be able to use are tags. So if you don't have, tags, you can make tags, or mini journaling kits, and this kit is no exception, come with many beautiful tags in them. So we've got a bunch of tags here. I've already punched the holes in them, all different sizes. So we will get to use some of those. All right, so let's go ahead, and as we go along, I'll try to show you a few more things that you can use in your journal. Here's also some index cards. You can use them as pockets. You can use them as, a journaling card. Just cover them if you want, or tea stain dye them and add a little bit of embellishment to them, and you've got a journaling card on the other side. So lots of ways that you can add those. All right, so I think we're going to leave the sack, and what I may have to do is just ever so slightly trim off this end over here so that our sack will fit in our journal without sticking out. So I'm just going to trim this out. And this is like a wax glycine bag. Probably something you would get like at a bakery or a deli or something. So this side will have a pocket. And then if you want to have a pocket on both sides, which I do, I'm going to go ahead and just cut the strip off of this side. And this will also give us a pocket on this side. And we're going to sew that in the center so it will not, it will, you know, have a stopping point for the pocket. All right. So let me quickly sort these pages together. So your first step again is to decide what you want as a cover. And then next you're going to pick out your pages and put them together. And of course you can put them in any order you like. And it all depends on what you would like to use your journal for also. If you're going to use it for writing, or are you going to use it for decorating, you know, to just embellish and put things in, for memory keeping, for you know, a cookbook or a recipe. You can put anything you want in it. So, all right, I think, let's see, that's upside down. Let's make sure our writing is right side up. And then I've got a few repeat pages here, but we're going to go ahead and use those. There we go. All right, and let's decide. Let's make, I want a pretty one as the center. So let's make this one the center. All right. Now, your pages do not all have to be the same. We might add that in there also. Let me find the one that's not wrinkled. Your pages do not all have to be the same size, but they can be if you want. So I think that's what we're going to do. I will quickly fold these and then we are going to bind them in. Now you say, okay, so I have my cover and I have my signature. So what do I do next? Well, next after that, you have to decide what the purpose of your journal is. Is it a writing journal? You know, like we just said a few minutes ago, is it a memory keeping journal where you'll want to put pictures in it or items you got while you were on a trip, like a travel journal? Is it a prayer journal where you want to write down your prayers? Is it just a pretty journal because you love to make journals and you love to decorate and embellish them and give them as gifts? So that's your next thing that you need to decide is how are you going to use this journal? And that will help you determine what goes in your journal. Again, for a beginner, I would suggest printables are probably the easiest and fastest ways to do a journal. So I would suggest grabbing you a kit from, you know, from your favorite shop. Mine happens to be Pink Monarch Prints. I love their printables, and especially their subscription kit because it just has so many wonderful papers in it, and you can make so many different things with it. And one kit is enough to make several projects, and then the nice thing is that you can reprint it if you want, so it makes it wonderful. Okay, now I kind of rearranged my pages, not thinking about that as I was going along there, because I stacked them inside of each other, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to leave that there, and then I'm going to take all my papers here, gather them up. Now, you're a beginner. How are you going to put this in your journal? Well, honestly, the easiest way, I think, is to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. It's one of the easier ways. There are 5-hole pamphlet stitches, there are hidden spines, there are just numerous ways. Some people create their junk journals inside of a book. They take all the pages out of the book and use the book cover as their journal cover. So there's many ways, but I really do think that the 3-hole pamphlet stitch is probably the easiest. And you just need to have an awl and some needle, and usually wax thread works the best. You can get a small binding kit very inexpensively off of Amazon. But if you don't have that, if you have some other kind of pokey tool that you can use, that is great. You can also use that. I've done it with just the needle before, but it is the thicker your pages, the harder it is to press it through. So I am going to clip that on there to kind of hold my pages in place. And I just eyeball mine, so I want to find the seam, which is about right there, the center and the seam, and I'm going to poke it through. And you can tell I have quite a few pages here. So I'm going to poke it through and make a pretty good size hole. There's a little gnat in here. He's flying all around trying to bug me. All right. Uh-oh, I knocked my pin off there, but that's okay. All right, so we're getting that one through there. Let me clip my page back on. All right, and then we're going to go down here and do one more. Okay, let me grab a needle and let's get this part sewn in. Usually a good rule of thumb is to measure the length of your journal, so about 2.5 to 3 times. I usually do 3, and I usually have some left over, but I would rather have a little left over than to be short. All right, so let me add this in here. All right, leave a little bit of a tail as you start. And I'm going to start in the center. There we go. Okay, I'm going to pull that through. And then I'm going to go up here to the top. You can go top or bottom, whichever you want. And I'm going to try to go back down through here. Now, if your pages get a little misaligned, just take a moment and kind of see where your needle is coming through, and there you go. And you're going to pull that through. Okay. And now I'm going to be real careful how I pull this, because this deli paper here will tear easily. Okay. So I'm going to pull that, and now I'm going to go even a little bit more here. I'm going to come all the way down here to my bottom hole, and I'm going to run that through, pull it up, there we go. And now you can see on the back side here, I'm going to take it back through the center. When you do this and you come up, try not to split your thread right there, okay? So, all right, there we go. Now I'm going to adjust my strings a little bit. Okay, they're pretty tight on this side, so I need to just find the right one and tighten this side. And there we go. Then I'm going to take, and I have a string on each side of this, so I'm going to tie it twice. You can make a little bow out of these and leave it in there. You can clip them off. You can leave them long and hang little dangles from the bottom of your pages. So like I said, there's no right or wrong. But I think as a beginner, it was easiest for me to use a kit, a printable, because it had most of the elements there. And then as I work on developing my style and what I like, I can move on to creating and making more items. All right, so our signature is sewn in and our pages look good. Let's see what happens when we close it. That looks good. It sticks out just a little bit. You could trim that paper off, but I'm not going to. I don't mind it. Now what we need to do is decide what's going to go inside of our journal. Well, there's many things you can do inside your journal. I like to use tags a lot because I think tags give you lots of spaces to journal. So we're going to grab some of them out. I like to use journaling cards. You can make these yourself with cardstock, or they're in the kit this month, so they're a great way to add journaling spots. There are also what they call collage cards, but I think you could also use these as journaling cards to put in a tall pocket. And envelopes. This is an envelope from the kit that we can create, but we also saw that we can use other envelopes. So I definitely will probably use this little small envelope. And then we have this envelope here. We've got postcards, lots of journaling cards. I've got lots of ephemera to decorate with. Lots of different pockets that come with the kit. So, you know, you don't have to create them yourselves. They're already done for you. But if you want to, you certainly can. And let's see, I'm trying to find the other pockets I had. I also have a little journaling card that I'm going to create here with the butterfly and the paper. And then I'll have that as a pocket to glue down. So we may do that one first here. So I'm going to grab my glue and I'm just going to start decorating. And really, it is add what you want in your journal. So I like lots of pockets and tags. But you can definitely put belly bands in here. That's what one of those collage pieces would be great for because they're tall. You can put material, lace, fabric, ribbon, string, anything like that you like. You can use paper punches if you have paper punches to decorate the edges of your pages. So let's see where we want to add this. I'm actually kind of thinking right here in the beginning, and I may take my round hole punch and just round the edges. If you don't have a hole punch, you can do this with a pair of scissors. Just kind of round your edges over. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down here. And I'm going to leave it open on top because that way I have a double pocket. Okay. All right, I'm going to let that glue down for a few minutes. So you can have a pocket. You're going to have a pocket here to add cards into or tags, and you're going to have a pocket here. And I think one of these large collage cards will fit perfectly in there, and I'm really loving this one. So instead of poking a hole in this one, I'm going to see if I have a little bit of lace here. Here we go. And use things that you already have around your house. You don't have to go out and buy things. You know, even though I said a printable kit does make it easy for beginner. You know, if you just want to purchase that and start with that, do that. But if not, use any kind of papers and things that you already have around your house to create a journal. You can use a notebook. If you have a notebook with lined paper in it, just, you know, decorate it up with cards. Greeting cards are a great way to embellish a junk journal. So use greeting cards or note cards in your journal. You know, just look around your house and there's lots of things, envelopes, things that you wouldn't think of to decorate with, you can use in a junk journal. All right, so let's find a few more. Let's figure out what we want to do with our envelope here. Now this envelope, you can use your scorer if you have a score tool and score it, but a lot of times I'll just fold it in on the lines. And I did copy a little trick when you do journaling kits or junk journaling kits, is to copy a paper, a neutral paper on the back of your item like this, and that way, you know, it'll be seen. So let me fold this in. I'm trying to decide which side's the top and which one's the bottom, but I guess you could go either direction really. This needs to come in just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so, but I think I want those there. And then we're going to fold this down, and this will be the top. All right, so let's glue this down. Some basic tools that you will need that you may already have around your house are scissors and glue, and a ruler is always a good item to have to help you keep straight. If you want to do sewing, you can do needle and thread like that, or if you have a sewing machine and you sew, you can definitely sew around these pieces before you put them in your journal. All right, so we've got that envelope there, but it needs a little embellishing. Now, if you're going to glue this down in your journal, then I would suggest embellishing this side so you can open it and you can have pieces inside. So let's find a couple small pieces here, and I've cut out a lot of little small pieces in here that we could use. Let's see. We've got some numbers. We've got a butterfly. That's beautiful. He needs a little more, little big. We need a smaller one. We've got some sentiments here that says, "It is well with my soul." I like that one. All right, let's see. We've got some florals and smaller butterflies. So let's grab a few of them out and decide what we want to use here. Don't be afraid to use unusual things. So if you don't have a printable, but you want like a label, so grab a label. You know how we take labels off different products in our kitchen, like, or clothing, you know, save those. You can cover them with paper, or you can use them just as they are, as a label, you know, for your junk journal. So I'm going to put the number there because you can never go wrong with a number. And let's see, we've got some florals here we could put under there. I'm trying to find something to put on the top here. Trying to find a smaller, there we go, a smaller butterfly. All right. Now something else I like to do that you don't have to do, but if you want to, is you can ink around. What I do with my ink, I had it a few minutes ago, but you can ink around your items just to give them a little more of a vintage look. So let's see here. We'll just ink around the butterfly. Again, not something you have to do. We want this to be beginner friendly, so if you don't have these items, that's fine. They're not necessary. You could, if you want a little etching, you could use a marker, and you could do that. Or if you have some paints, you could, you know, lightly watercolor them. Watercoloring is beautiful. I would suggest watercoloring the page before you put it in your journal and let it dry, but you most definitely could do that. And then let's see, where are we going to put our sentiment? I think maybe about right there. There we go. Hopefully I'm staying in camera for y'all. And there we go. We've embellished up our envelope. Again, I'm going to only do glue on 3 sides of this so I can have a pocket behind it. All right. And we can take a couple of these journaling cards here, which I have coffee tea stain dyed on the back, and slide them in. Now, something else you can do with your journal is if you have stamps. So if you have some stamps, let me see if I can find something here easy to use. Oh, there's the ones I want. There they are. So I have some stamps here. So you can use stamps for decorations. You don't have to have, you know, all the different, you know, items, but if you do have stamps, they make fun decorations. So let's see. Let me grab this one and maybe a number that we can stamp on here. And I'm going to use my vintage photo to stamp with, but if you have, you know, some black ink, we'll see if that works on my one here that I already had black ink on. Let's do this one first. Trying to keep it straight on there. I think I need to wash my block. It's not wanting to stick. All right. So, oh, that's upside down, but we'll just turn that. And there we go. And let's see about this one. I can get it to stick. There we go. I'm going to try and do the brown ink, and let me make sure I have it the right way up. And there we go. So stamps are a great thing to use in your journals also. They add a lot of character and depth, but not a lot of bulk. So if you don't want your journal to get too bulky, it's definitely a great item to use. Another item you could use in your journal would be, to decorate your pages, would be stencils. So I've got some stars, just different shapes here, some spots, some flowers. So let's do a little something on this page here. And again, I'm just going to use the color I have out. I like neutrals, but if you like bright colors, by all means, you know, use the colors you enjoy most. Oops, I moved it, so we may have a little smearing there. You may want to grab a little washi tape, which is another great thing to use in your journal, and use that to kind of hold your stencil down in place. All right. And there we go. Stencils are another easy item to use in a journal. All right. And then let's see, what else can we embellish with? So we've got a pocket or two in here. We've got a tag, but let's do a belly band. So this is kind of a large belly band, a thick belly band, but I like it that way. But you could have it narrower if you like. But I'm going to go ahead and use this thick one. And I'm just going to glue at the top here. I am going to try to get a pretty good amount of glue on there so it will hold this down. All right. And then I'm going to kind of center it in my page. You can make a belly band go, oops, it can go horizontal or vertical. There's no rules. And that's the one thing to remember, no rules. You don't have to follow any specific rules when you journal. It's all about what you like and what you would like to see in there. Now this is a large belly band, so we can get some large items in there. But we also can create, let's see if I have one I like. We could create a pocket on top, but I think I'll save that one. We've got some beautiful florals. I like that. And let's see. We've got some beautiful words here we can maybe use. I like that remember. There we go. These are part of the kit, and that's the one nice thing about having a kit too, is it just helps you to, you know, embellish things easier. Okay. So we're just going to put a few of our extra journaling cards, and maybe a larger tag will fit under here. Remember, you can add some string or twine or even a paper tag or a ribbon or so to your tags to dress them up a little bit. If you do paper, it's less bulky, so you won't have to worry about as much bulk being in your journal if you're worried about that. You kind of have to watch where you're putting your glue if your pieces are going to hang over. You don't want to glue down your items you're putting in your belly band by accident. Okay, we're going to put remember, and let's see, how do we want to do the number 3? Do we want it below or above? Maybe up here above, if I can squeeze it in there a little bit. If I can squeeze that in. There we go. There we go. Don't forget to add a little ribbon or lace if you would like that in there. Let's see, I thought I had a little piece already cut here. We've got a butterfly here. There's a little piece. Here we go. So I may even lay a piece of ribbon down here. I'm just gonna put the glue along here, and then after that dries, I'll come back and snip those edges off. You could let them hang over if you want, but I think they might get in your way of pulling things in and out. But we'll let that sit on there and just dry for a little bit. So we've got a belly band, we've got pockets, we've learned how to use a stencil. What about an envelope? Fun thing to do with an envelope is make it as a flip out. But before we glue that down, let's create a cluster on our envelope. And something else you can use in your journals is stickers and rub-ons. So let's see, I've got some stickers here, and I think I have some fall ones. That's what I'm looking for. So there's some fall labels, some Halloween. These are a little more fallish. We could use that. So any of these would be good. So what do we want to add on to our thing here? So kind of just want to make a little collage. Add a little ink to that, just give it a little brownness. And let's see. What about the pumpkin? So I'm going to use the pumpkin to help hold the tag on. And I'm not going to glue my tag down yet because I think I probably want to add one other item here. Let's see. So I'll use that sticker. What else can we use? We've got some lace here, but I think that might blend in with the envelope because of the being the same color. Let's do this fall market. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of decide. Oh, I think I want it down here, and we're going to put our fall market down there, and there we go. So stickers are another great thing to use in your journals. And you can get, stickers anywhere. You may already have stickers at home. If your kids are into stickers or you're into stickers, you may already have some available. Labels, any kind of labels you have also would be great in a journal. All right. Let's see. Let's put one more pocket in. I really like this one. And another tag. So it's just endless. I know there's probably tons and tons of things I'm forgetting that we can put in the journals, but make it your own. You can also make tucks and flips, which the envelope is kind of a flip here. I need to glue that down. So on this side, I'm going to glue the envelope down. So this is kind of like a flip here. Okay, flip out, add a little embellishment there. Or if you want to write a little note and stick in there, you can do that. So tucks, that was a flip out with the envelope. You can make a tuck with just about anything. Let's add that beautiful tag in there. So a tuck, you can add to the corner of your page here, and then you'll be able to add things in there. So we're going to go ahead and use this other collage card that comes with the kit. Now you can make it narrower if you want, but I actually like the large size there. So I'm going to glue the top and then the one back side here. And now you've got a tuck spot in your journal. Again, come back and add some little elements to this and decorate it up. And then after this dries a little bit, you can add in journaling cards, tags, whatever you want in there. So you're creating plenty of writing space, and if you just like the embellishment and decorating, you've got that to add in there. Now don't forget, you could take any kind of ribbon or lace, and let's see, grab a piece here, and if you want, you can decorate the borders of your pages or your cover with them. So you can do something just like that. I'm going to leave this one as it is, because I want this to be more of a masculine type journal. I have a friend who was wanting a journal to write in, and so I think this has a lot of masculine colors in it. So I think that will work for him. And then we've got some pockets here, so you can definitely put tags in your pockets. So we've got a front and a back pocket. We've also got something we can do here. This would be great for stenciling also. Let's see, what else could we add? Let's see, I wrote down a few things. Stamping, stencils, paint. Yep, we talked about that. Oh, don't forget that you can add in things like this. So like, if you want to have brads in your journal, you can do that. If you want to create a dangle, you can do that easy enough by, you can use, if you don't have these little bulb pins, use a safety pin, you know, use a brad, use, you know, whatever you have to create a little dangle on the side, or just a piece in there to have to rotate something. Let's do something real quick here. Let me find a larger piece and we'll make it rotate. Let's see what I can find here. Okay, so we have these fun specimen cards. So let's take, and we will create, we're going to grab a butterfly. Let's see, do we like that butterfly or this butterfly? Oh, I think I like that butterfly best. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ink around these edges a little bit. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a brad and we're going to make it so that this will swing out. You can use it as a hidden journaling spot or just a fun interactive thing. So you could also put it at the top, use washi tape and make it a flip up to journal on, a tuck spot down here. But we are going to put it here, and I'm going to grab a small brad from my metal pieces. Let's see, and we've got a small one there. See if I got one with a little bit bigger head on it. There we go, maybe that one. Okay. And let's see, I may need my pair of scissors or a needle or something to puncture that a little bit. Let's see if I can just puncture it with my pin here. Oh, those pins are not strong enough. Okay, let me grab my awl again and we'll poke a little hole. There we go. All right, we're going to put that brad in there. And let's see, we need to glue our butterfly on. Let's glue our butterfly on. There we go. And then I'm also going to take my awl and kind of line up this hole here where I want it. Now be very gentle poking that through there because awls are very sharp. All right, so I've got that brad in there and I'm just going to pull down the legs on it. You can cut those legs off, you can tape them, you can put a sticker over them, whatever you like. And there we go, and it can flip out. So it's just a little interactive piece that we made there. If you want to keep it as a tuck spot and you want it to stay more stationary, put another brad down here and then you can have a tuck spot. So there we go. There are some things that you can put in a journal as a beginner like I said, the easiest way to begin, to me, is to just grab a journaling kit and help the pieces learn about the different pieces, the pockets and tuck spots and envelopes and everything, journaling cards, and let those be your guide to get started. And then as you develop your own style, you'll find out whether you like bright colors, vintage colors, shabby chic. You'll develop your own style. Then as you do that, you'll have some ideas on how to continue to build what you put inside of your junk journals. Don't forget, a junk journal can be for pictures, so we want to leave spaces in here for people to add things. You could add pictures from trip memories if you want to have like a travel journal. Pictures from Christmas. You can make a lot of people make what they call a December daily and put down all the fun things they do in the month of December. November is usually gratitude month, so a lot of people will spend time actually journaling on their pages. So you definitely want to leave writing space in your journals if you're a writer, and use them to journal what they're grateful for. And if you just like to create things and that, you can fill your journals just full of your creations and just, enjoy the process and enjoy the time you get to spend in your journals. So I hope this helped a little bit with what goes in a junk journal. If you have any specific questions or comments, just give me, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to answer that for you. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope you have a wonderful day.